Welcome to the Luger Series, A Seat at the Table, a podcast where we talk about leadership and impact by pulling up a chair and leaning into intentional conversation. Each episode highlights the impact of our alumni and friends who have helped shape and expand the table for women across Indiana. I'm Ann Hathaway, Executive Director of the Luger Series, and today I'm honored to be joined by Elisha Modisett Kemp. Elisha serves as Head of U.S. Government and Industry Affairs for Corteva Agriscience and has dedicated her career to advancing agriculture and public policy. She has been involved with the Luger Series in multiple capacities, as a class member, board leader, and former board president. Elisha, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ann.
We are so excited to have you here. And after I read your amazing bio and the things that you've done in industry, tell us your journey. Did you always know you were going to be in agriculture and in this industry? You've been doing it a long time. So tell us your journey on how we got to here.
You know, that's what's interesting is because I never saw this as a career for me. So that's a great story. I grew up Tipton County, grew up on a cattle feedlot farm and grew up in agriculture, 10-year 4-H'er, showed sheep, sold sweet corn out of the back of our pickup truck on the roadside stands for summer money. And my first job was with Pioneer and the seed research plots.
Really?
Yep. So when I was 13, I was working for Pioneer and come full circle. So
did you detassel corn in the summer?
No, I did not do detasseling because I saw the research crew got to go inside for lunch and the air conditioning. So I was like, that's the job.
That's the job. Yeah. Detasseling is hard, dirty.
Detasseling is very hard. I did that for like a day.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that was just my way of life. And kind of all of my friends, we all just grew up that way. So for me, I just assumed everybody had that agricultural upbringing. I didn't know it could be a career outside of the farm. I was really involved I enjoyed politics.
Right.
So my uncle was involved in politics. And
I didn't know that. What did your uncle do?
So he ended up, he was Marion County prosecutor. Back in the 90s, and then became an attorney general in late 90s, early 2000s.
We don't talk about him because he was a Democrat.
He is, but you know what? Our family's pretty agnostic when it came to politics. And when I got to college, I got involved in college Republicans.
Right.
And that's when I realized, wait, I think this is where I belong.
Yeah.
But I still love the politics.
I was just kidding. I actually remember Jeff Modisett.
Yeah, right? And so I was like, okay, I really like government and policy and the politics of all of this. That's where I was going to go.
So where did you study in college and what did you study?
Yeah, so I went to DePaul University. So our colors were black and gold, like Purdue. But I didn't do Purdue like everybody else in my family. I didn't quite sure. I did a little bit of political science. I did some psychology, sociology. And then I realized, wow, those two really fit together well. Like getting into people's psyche as you're doing government affairs was probably some of the best classes I took. And then I was going to dovetail that into law school.
Oh, wow. But you didn't go to law school.
Not immediately. So I did a Senate internship when I was at DePaul.
State Senate?
State Senate. That was the first year, it's kind of dating myself, first year that they got laptops. Oh. And my job was to teach the senators how to use laptops.
Oh, my gosh.
So I got to work with all the senators.
What a great experience,
It was great. That was we could do a whole other podcast about what it was like to teach senators laptops. But... So then when I graduated DePaul, my first job was a House Republican LA legislative assistant.
Oh, I was going to ask, what was the first job? How long were you at the House?
Almost 4 years. And when I joined, we were the minority.
Really?
So that's how long ago it was. 2002 I joined.
And then we flipped.
And we flipped in 2005.
And you left.
I have a good reason why I left, though. We can get into that.
Please.
So when I got to the State House and working the minority, which was an experience, and then when we got the majority, the staff director at the time said, well, we want you to work for the House Agriculture and the House Environment Committees.
Oh.
And I said, well, no, like I'm going to law school, like I want to judiciary, criminal code. And they're like, but you're the only one with an ag background. You're the only one who grew up on a farm. So these are your committees. And you're going to work for the chairman of the House Ag and chairman of the House Environment Committees. And I was so mad and disappointed at the time, but that was a defining moment in my career. And
it was something you didn't want, which even makes it more interesting.
And I think sometimes people will see something and strengths in you that you don't see in yourself.
Sure.
And I was so grateful that it was Danielle Chrysler, right, that found that and connects this for me. And it just opened my eyes that I could sit in this committee and hear the policy going on. I'm like, wait, that impacts my dad. Yeah. And call my dad and be like, wait, what would this mean to you? Like, he was my first policy advisor, right? And I was like, there's a lot to be done here. I'm so excited. And that bit the bug for me because it melded my two loves together.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So then did somebody in the ag industry come get you and steal you from the house?
Well, I had a stepping stone in between. Mitch Daniels came in 2004, and one of his platforms was to create a state Department of Agriculture, which a lot of people don't realize, as big of an ag state that we are, we did not have a standalone state Department of Ag until 2005.
It's crazy to me. I mean, I know that now, and I knew it then, but I still can't wrap my head.
Like, we're in the 2000s.
Why it took so long.
Yeah, right. There's like 14 different agencies that did something with ag, but we didn't have one point. So I got to work on the legislation to create the State Department of Ag.
Oh, that's cool.
So fun. And then once it passed and Governor Daniels came in, then I got to go over and be the first legislative director at ISDA.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the stepping stones that
just kept falling in place.
Yes. I mean, you're one of those folks that for the longest time you didn't put together a resume, did you? Because you didn't need it. Because you basically just one thing led to another and you were the perfect person in the right place at the right time.
It fell into place. Yeah, it was great.
So did you go to law school?
I did. So then what I ended up doing.
How did you fit that in?
I did that at night.
Did you do the 4-year program?
I did the 4-year program. Yep, with Indianapolis at IU. But that was perfect for me as well because I was learning things in class at night. I'd come back in the next day and I'm like, wait, that's how this means. This is how it works. And so it was just, for me, it was applicable. It was real time. And it sunk in probably better than if I had just been there as a student and not seen how it comes to life.
You were so focused too.
Yeah.
And so all the pieces, it was meant to be.
It really did. I mean, so those kind of just one after another just really opened up my eyes. And I'm like, what? This is a career that you can really make. And I had other opportunities along the way that I could have gone in other agencies of state government.
But agriculture was your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it fits you so well. Now that I know you, I can't imagine
anything else.
I can't imagine why it wasn't a natural. Yeah. But yet I also totally get why. Well, wait, I live that. I want to go do something else.
Yeah. Because when I got to DePauw, then I realized, wait, not everyone has this experience like me. I'm actually not the norm. I'm the outlier here. So once I realized that, there's not that much direct connection to ag, when you get into this policy work, I felt like a real sense of purpose to bring that knowledge to the everyday, people working in this space.
So obviously you came to the table with the ag background and you'd done the government affairs. And so you had these roles, but sometimes people have all that, but they don't know how to pull it together and use their skills in order to do the things you did. Be a little bold about how you were smart enough to and that you took the opportunity to really create the Department of Ag, to be the first ledge director. You were breaking ceilings for women. You were breaking ceilings for agriculture at that time. And it had to be a little intimidating. How did you pull up your big girl panties and lead into it?
I don't think I realized it was intimidating at the time because it was new for everyone. And I have always grown up kind of being the young woman in a room full of men, right? And so
know it well.
If you just are prepared and show some confidence, then people will respect you and all right, hey, pull up a seat and let's, figure this out. I also had created great partnerships. I mean, the relationships and what we do, so many, and I'm sure the other podcast guests all say this, right? It's all about relationships. So no one, working with Farm Bureau and the Corn and Soybean Associations and all those people that I got to work with when I was on the House staff, all came in and we leaned in and created this Department of Ag. And of course, Mitch's leadership and vision too was a good guiding light.
Well, I think when we finally pulled the Department of Ag together and had your team in place, and as time has gone on, we even as Indiana recognize more comprehensive, and we embrace our agriculture state.
Yeah.
And we don't fight against it.
Right.
I mean, I remember, that I would walk into a room, and if I said I was a farmer or from a rural, people would be like, well, where's the hay growing out of your hair? And now it's not like respected way more than it was 20 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're an I state. And so for people who don't know that, you always say I states are considered the ag states, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana. But we are the smallest landmass state west of the Appalachians.
Crazy.
Right? When you think about it, like Iowa and California, like all these other huge ag states, we are the smallest one, and yet we're 9th in ag production in the whole country. But we're humble, right? We just do our thing.
Hoosiers always punch above their weight, but they
weight.
don't pound their chest and tell everybody we just go back to work and get it done.
And so we needed that State Department of Ag, and frankly, even IEDC as well, right? That combination of economic development and growth. There is a lot to be had here, and a lot of synergies that I think we were missing out on that just catapulted where ag could be in this state. And great example of that is where I'm at with Corteva now, because the ag biosciences is like a $60 billion industry in this state. So on top of just growing your production agriculture, the technology and the innovation that our ag sector has today is just leaps and bounds.
So obviously, because of my friendship with you and other things that I'm engaged in, I'm aware of that. But sometimes I get frustrated because I'm not sure enough Hoosiers really know how important agriculture, how bioscience is, how it all fits together, and how we're punching above our weight. I'm not even convinced that people know how the bread got to the grocery store shelf, and that, that how we picked how we make flour, how it all happens in order to come together. So do you have any thoughts, and this isn't even something we talked about, but how do we do a better job of remaining humble to who we are, but yet telling our stories so that people really appreciate what we're doing here, not only externally, but internally?
I think we're getting there. I think the first step is recognizing that we need to tell our story. And so there have been some great people along the way with, Agri-Novus and the state and our associations, right? We're all getting there. We're getting this BioHeartland hub, tech hub recognized, pulling these pieces together to have people see that vision that we're working towards. I'd also say even the small thing, I shouldn't say small, but like independent things like the Indiana State Fair.
Yes.
Right? Because one of the best things when I say people don't have a connection to ag, I'm like, did you eat today? Everybody's eating. And if you're eating, you are part of the agricultural value chain. Because at the end of the day, if no one's consuming these products, we don't have farmers. And you come to the state fair to eat. And the state fair does a great job of then showing that connectivity.
They do. They really do.
And that's a small part of that, but all those your county fairs and the regional activities, like that is what we're trying to make people realize, like this is a big deal.
You're in the right job at the right time. And I want to come back to that, but I want to go back to your journey for a minute. Obviously, as we talk about it, we kind of make it talk like it was all easy, sunshine, roses, lollipops, and that you worked your tail off and it happened. But were there any lessons or any obstacles along the way? Is there any? I mean, I have indelibly printed in my brain sometimes when I cried myself to sleep and things didn't go so well. Were there any of those like along the way where you almost wanted to bail on this path?
I don't know if I was ever going to bail on the path, but I didn't know which spoke to take. Right. So I knew I loved agriculture. My upbringing gave me great perspective, and my education gave me great tools, and the public policy gave me the passion. But what do you do with that? And so I'd always kind of just worked from state government, and then I made the leap to the private sector. And 18 years now I'm going at that, which is just hard.
That's crazy.
But so you sit there a long time, like, do I stay here, or is there something else I should be doing? And I think you get opportunities arise. You always kind of look through the doors. And I think those are kind of the moments where I've had in my life and my personal journey of like, is this the right fit for me? Is there somewhere else I should be serving? But I have found like other good outlets is like serving on the boards, being able to help with gubernatorial campaigns and helping them develop their ag and rural strategies and policies. Has allowed me to continue my job, but serve those other areas that I have a lot of interest in with politics.
Did you ever think about going to Washington, D.C. and living full time? I know that you, in your jobs, have traveled there back and forth, but did you ever think, you know what?
I did. Yeah. When the first Trump administration came in, I was like, okay, is this my time to go to USDA? But, I was 8 months pregnant. So I had that going on and, is that the right place to be? And I think all the things happen for a reason. Yeah. So I did not go. But I was still able to work with them frequently. I just don't live there.
I totally understand, but I always ask if, did you have that dream? And because I remember I went for 6 months and I ended up staying many years, but it was one of those, I had to check the box
to do it.
Yeah. And so I was always curious to know but you have the ability to come in and out. Yeah. So you have, in my opinion, you have the best of both worlds because you get to live here, but drop in and work the Hill, work the administration as you need to.
Right. And we have a great airport. So there's 6 direct flights a day, right? To make that happen.
I think it's funny you know that.
Do you want me to give you the flight times? Yes. Great flexibility. And it's nice, being at the headquarters here in Indiana for Corteva, but then being able to go to DC and play both hats.
You mentioned boards that you would serve on, and obviously the Lugar Series board and campaigns you've been involved in. And I want to come back to that. But let's talk about your role at Corteva. You have a big role. And I think that with some of the changes that have been announced recently, your role is expanded. So tell us more about your role, what it was and what it is and how it's morphing and how did you decide that you were going to embrace all this? I know you have 2 young kids, you have aging parents, you have yourself spread pretty thin as someone who lives it too. Yeah. But I admire how you do it so graciously but this is a big job. You need to brag about it. Tell us more.
Well, thanks. It all started with a gentleman named Ted McKinney that had been at the time the company was called Dagger Sciences, and he was leaving and gave me a call, right? And again, having those people see something in you don't see in yourself. He's like, how do you feel about multi-state lobbying government affairs? I was like, outside of Indiana? Like, that's all I know. But again, that opened my eyes. So in some form or fashion, I have worked in 36 different states.
No way.
Yes.
I had no idea.
I have walked canola fields in North Dakota to cotton fields in Louisiana. Wow. And this just broadened my love for ag even more.
So have you done sugar and tobacco? You basically have at least a little knowledge about every production line.
Which it just warms my heart. Like, American agriculture, I'm not being biased. Like, it really, truly is amazing that this country can feed the world. But you've got to have the policies in place to make that happen. And right now we're trying to get a farm bill passed.
So
I really got off topic there. Back to my job.
So are you predicting that we will get a farm bill passed? That we can make real news today.
Well, I should have brought that one up. There will be a markup this week, and we'll see what happens. We are short some senators as well as a challenge. But, this farm bill is important.
It's so important.
So important. And there's a lot at stake. I think probably now more than ever. I mean, we've just kind of continued a farm bill year after year.
We've just kind of kicked that can down the road.
And we can't do it anymore. There's too much at stake. And so, again, having that chance to sit where I sit at Corteva and be that voice for our farmer customers. Right. And they have associations that do that as well. But, for us that want to supply them with the seed and the crop protection products and things so they can put a crop out and get it to market, and understanding how that gets around the world. I'm there on behalf of them.
That's really cool. So I remember when somebody said to me, well, does the vice president know your name? It was when I was working for Dan Quayle. And I'm like, yeah, he's my boss. So like, do people appreciate the fact that these senators and their teams, they pick up the phone and they call you, they know you by name, they know you when you come into a room? I think we
big.
take for granted that you're doing this international company in Indiana.
Yeah.
And that these people you're working with this is a big deal, and you have this job. I just don't think that we fully embrace what a big deal this is and how important you are to the ag industry and to Indiana doing what you do.
Well, you're right, because we don't talk about it much, but it is that relationship, that connectivity, and the resource. So just back where I started, there's not many people that grew up on a farm like I did.
Right.
The best I can do is at least have them ask questions and learn. So it's where like, oh, government affairs, that's just lobbying. Not really.
Not really.
What my job is to build understanding and relationships. And from there, then we can have a conversation about what's the most important. And it goes both ways. So it's also, making sure policymakers have an understanding.
Right.
But it's also me going back to my business and making sure they have an understanding of what the policymakers are trying to achieve. And then how do we meet in the middle?
So well said.
Yeah.
So obviously you don't do this on your own. You have a team.
Yep.
So how many folks are on your team?
We have like 14 or so right now, but our company is separating because we have this opportunity we really can invest separately into our seed genetics company, which we called Vylor, and then our crop protection biological business, which will stay under the Corteva name. So we are dividing up our teams in two.
So will you stay with what you're doing now?
I'm going to stay with Corteva. Yep. And we'll still be headquartered here in Indiana and
awesome.
serving around the world. Doing great things. So really look forward to this next chapter.
But 14 people and you're doing around the world. Wow. You have to delegate a lot, and you have to have really high competent people who are good communicators. How did you find your team?
Some was inherited, but I was really blessed when we came together to have great people. And then along the way, you meet others and you're like, you would be great for us.
So how did you go from being in LA, the ledge director, you were kind of on a team or kind of self-reliant with regard to what you're doing, to finding to finding yourself traveling, dealing with lots of states, and then you're the head of, and you've got to manage all these people. How did you learn to manage?
You look for other mentors, right? And so along the way, I still would eventually call back Ted McKinney, right? Or
we also call Ted McKinney.
Beth Bechtel, Ann Hazlett. Like Indiana has produced some really good ag leaders too. I'm very fortunate to have this network. I mean, you have a great background. Like again, Indiana punches above its weight, even in our leadership and the people we produce.
Right.
So I have been really fortunate to have those people around me. I actually have a little women's board of directors, I call them.
Yep.
And we get together every January 1st. Like, what is our goals for the year? And you bounce ideas off and you have that sounding board.
Do they hold you accountable?
They do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great because then we check back in and be like, are you following what you said you do?
Good for you. That's really an important group for you.
Fun.
I kind of am jealous.
Yeah, it's great. You can come join us.
Wow, that'd be fun. Well, I probably I let myself down or let y'all down because I always start out, the new year with lots of things I'm going to change.
And half of my board of directors are Luger Series grads.
That's awesome.
Different classes, and we still come together and we have a connection to ag, and it's trust. We have a lot of trust with each other.
We need a podcast of that group.
Oh, that would be
talking
fun.
about how you guys have interacted. That would be really fun. Well, we'll put that on the list.
All right.
So, do any 2 days in your life look the same? I mean, what happens when you go in the morning? Do you have a to-do list, or are you putting out fires?
Yes. Next question.
Okay.
No, it is. It's a mix. We're always driving towards our goals.
Yeah.
And every day is, what step do I need to take to get there?
So I'm going to ask you a question that's kind of, it's tough, but I think it's one that Luger Series women need to hear. We all deal with mom guilt, daughter guilt with regard to, are we doing enough? And we all get on planes, and not, we all don't, but we get on planes, etc., and trying to balance it all. How do you, I know when my parents were aging, I had a really difficult time trying to figure out how to be in Galveston, Illinois, and take care of what I needed to do here, and be in Washington, D.C. when I needed to be, and juggle all those things. And I know that you have aging parents. How do you, and you have young children, how do you juggle and how do you manage the mom guilt?
It's not easy. And I don't have it figured out. And there are those days where you're like, boy, I should be here. Or if I'm with my family, I'm like, boy, I should be at work, right?
Yeah.
Like that will never happen. But I created a village, and you've got to have those people around you. And that really makes a difference.
And how did you deal with that, with management, with your bosses, or with, how do you remind them in a tactful way that I love my job and I'm really good at it, but I got a family I got to balance too? Have you had to manage up?
A little. I've had very supportive leaders throughout my career, and so that's really helpful. And we're all on the move.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, good or bad, we're still connected to our phones.
Right.
So even if you are with the family, you're not that far away.
I remember taking my mom shopping, and I'd be like walking and doing myself, it was the early days of cell phones, but multitasking as she was trying on something. Yeah, Mom, you look great, as I'm typing away.
I was on the taxi runway heading to DC, and I realized that my son's football team was starting and he had no cleats. So I'm on the internet ordering for same day pickup, right? So the babysitter can run by the store, pick up the football cleats on the way to practice. So
I get it.
Happen.
I get it.
I love technology.
And I think that's the way we as active leader women do. We just figure out how to make it happen. And it's just one more thing that you take care of.
Yeah.
So on your list of things that you do and you take care of, obviously Luger Series and Luger Series board and being president was one, but you are involved in other organizations. You mentioned that you've had leadership opportunities on different campaigns. How do you identify, we have a finite amount of time. How do you identify where you're going to use your time, treasure, talent, and find places where you can give back, but also grow?
Yeah. Well, you pointed out right. So early on, I said yes to a lot of things because I wanted the experience. And that was really good. Now I'm a bit more intentional. And so if I say yes, then I ask myself two questions like, is this something that I have the time to invest in? Because I'm not going to do it if I can't really be impactful. Can I make a difference if I choose this opportunity? And then two, am I going to learn something from it? Because yes, I've been at this for a while, but there's still things for me to learn, and I want to learn. So if I can say yes to those two things, if I can make a difference and I will learn something, then I'll say yes. But I know that if I say yes to something, it's no to something else.
Right.
And then what will I say no to? And whether that's at home or at work or other opportunities.
So Luger Series, you went through the class, and then you were on the board, and you're still on the board, I believe. And you served 2 terms as president.
Yeah.
As you think about the Luger Series program and the women, why did you get involved? What did the Luger Series provide for you?
It provided me a bigger vision than what I saw just within my little state house world. So yes, I was involved there, had worked on a couple of campaigns for House members, but I had no experience at the local level. And I really didn't know much at the federal level at that time either, just tangentially. So that gave me the opportunity to see how it all came together.
Makes sense.
And then where does media play? That was one of my most impactful days, is the role media can play. You really should lean into media. Right? As opposed to considering them an adversary.
We all kind of pull back.
Yeah.
Because we don't like to watch ourselves on TV or hear ourselves.
Right.
But yet we need to lean in, because that's the way to deliver a message.
That's the way to deliver. And from the Luger Series, even today now, everything I do has a campaign mentality to it. So if we are trying to get some piece of legislation done, or working on a regulatory matter, there's a quote unquote campaign effort that should go with that.
You don't see it one-dimensionally.
You can't. And like that legislator also needs to see about it in his local newspaper. Mm-hmm. And he wants to hear about it, you know, in other stories and create that echo chamber. Mm-hmm. And so if you tackle government affairs that way with that communications aspect to it, you'll be much more successful.
I really appreciate that perspective because I'm not sure I do a very good job of conveying that because we could just get in the mode of picking the class, scheduling the speakers. But I think that that's really helpful to me to understand the value of really that and how it still impacts your life.
Till today. And,
wow.
And I didn't see that until I got through that program.
Did you ever think about running for office?
I've been asked.
That was a pregnant pause.
Sorry.
As a campaign recruiter, I think I want to jump in.
But what I have found is I kind of enjoy where I work on the sidelines and versus being on the point. Because it does allow me to do, I like to dabble in a couple different things. And I think if I ran for office, I'd be too much in one silo and I'd miss out on other opportunities I enjoy doing.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, it's like having a smorgasbord of different things that satisfy different parts of your personality.
Right. Yeah.
So one of the things that you and I share is a passion for the state fair.
Yes.
So you're on the Indiana State Fair board.
Uh-huh.
And it's coming up soon.
Yeah, August 7th.
So talk about that role and how you add value to the planning for the year, but then talk about the 2 weeks of the fair.
It is a great way, again, to bring all of Indiana together. I mean, it really warms your heart when you see all the different people of our state that come together for a corn dog and to see the animals and ride some rides and learn about ag all at the same time. I mean, you really can't take that for granted. I think by my involvement with the fair, obviously our company is a big supporter, but just personally in my capacity is seeing that we can use this as a huge megaphone for ag, and that people will come purposely because they want to see animals because they don't see them any other time of the year.
Right.
And it seems so trivial to us farm people. Like you're just looking at a couple of hogs in a cage or a pen, but that's a really big deal for those kids.
Those baby pigs.
Oh, they're adorable, right? You can't.
Don't touch.
It's so hard to do. So it's enjoyment. It's that highlight to end someone's summer.
Yeah.
But it's educational without even realizing that you're learning. Mm-hmm. So it is August 7th through the 22nd. At our great Indiana State Fair. Please come out. There are different days, different opportunities. Again, everything just coalesces around learning ag, but realizing that everyone has a part to play in the agricultural story.
So what other board or commission or activity are you involved in that satisfies a passion that maybe we don't know about?
Well, I just came off the board after my 2 terms with the Indiana Repertory Theater.
I had no idea.
I have a little bit of an art bug to me.
Do you actor?
No, I'm terrible. But I love it. I mean, I've done our philanthropy radio show where I got to go on stage and perform a radio show, which
it's a cool night.
Loved it.
It's a fun weekend.
It is a fun night. But the arts and culture is super important. I got that from my grandmother. Even though she grew up on the farm, her dad was a judge. She was very prim and proper, and she would always take me to the theaters. So I love musicals. I love the arts. So having that ability to make sure Indiana has that great culture community is really important to me too. And then, I also get to serve on the Indiana Corn Growers Board as an ex officio. So getting with the producers and involved in activities at my church and things. So
you have a full schedule. So often women come to me and they say, okay, I can't do it all. So I have to pick and choose. And so I'm going to say no to these things. And my question always is what are you going to say yes to? So how do you advise people on what to get involved in and when to lean in? Because we as women want our lives to be perfect and kind of tied in a box. And you and I've had this conversation before. We kind of leave messy lives and we play outside the lines. But that's created great challenge, great opportunity, and led us in different ways. So what's your advice to women with regard to trying to figure out where to lean in?
You have to have a passion for it. If you're just saying yes, but your heart's not in it, then you're not going to get anything out of it, and that organization won't get the best of you. So there is a bit of the emotion attached. I think you have to really lean in and be like, don't just think it looks good on a resume.
Right.
Sometimes people get too caught up in like, well, this will look good to others, or I'll have visibility. But if you don't care about it, then it's not going to be worth your time.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Do women come to you for advice on careers and government affairs very often? And what do you share with them? Because it's long days.
It is. But again, it goes back to the passion. I feel like it's a calling. And, people say, oh, you're just below a used car salesman or something. But
they really don't understand that we're education.
It is. It's that understanding. And even people that have different views or positions, there's still some shared values that we'll all have. And when we can find, you agree on wanting to make sure that you have healthy food for your kids, and I want to have healthy food for my kids. Well, then how do we get there?
Right.
And there may be different paths, but the end game is still the same for all of us. And if you start from what we all can agree on, then you can have that conversation.
100% agree.
Yeah.
You say it very, very well. How do we get more women to take the risk to run for public office? That's a challenge for me right now. Put
themselves out there.
Yeah. I go back to we don't like to fail, we don't like to lose. And one of the things I say to folks is often losing is just opening a different door that takes you down a path you didn't have any idea that you weren't even thinking about.
Right. And
I can think of a number of Lugar Series women where, losing one race has led to opportunities on other races. And I think that politics is rough and tumble right now. Sure. And obviously it's been a big year in Indiana with regard to winning and losing races and lots of different activities. But how do we get more women to run?
I think if we, everybody has to be asked. Hardly women will ever raise their hand. So we all need to keep asking each other.
I like that.
Right? We know that's our weakness. So we have to lean in and push other women as well. And then I try to tell people, like, growth comes on the edges of your comfort zone. Right? So if you're just going to do what's comfortable, then there's nothing new for you. And if you're fine with complacency and static, okay, but we aren't. If you're in the Lugar Series, you're not wired to be complacent.
100%. And we could end right there and do a mic drop, because that's like you said it all in that simple answer. But we're not gonna.
Let's go.
So, as we wrap up our time together, there's a series of questions that we asked to every one of our guests to wrap up our podcast. Okay. So, 1-2 word answers.
Okay.
How would you define your leadership style?
Consensus building. Does that count?
No, but it's totally you.
Okay.
If you would have said anything different, I would have been surprised, because one of the things I respect most about you is your calmness, and you are very respectful of people's opinion, but when you come to a conclusion, you're firm.
Yeah.
What motivates you?
Sense purpose. I was going to say sense of purpose, but that was too many words. So I'll just say purpose.
Perfect. What challenges you?
Complacency. No, getting comfortable. Yeah.
Indiana in one word.
Underrated.
Absolutely.
Underrated.
Absolutely. A word for the current and next generation of women leaders.
Fearless. The ones that are stepping up right now are fearless.
They are.
Yeah.
We need more.
Yeah.
The Lugar Series in one word.
Transformational.
Thank you.
It really did.
It really, I really appreciate your story. It came to you at a time in your life where you were looking for that next information that could take you to the next level.
Yeah. No, it's great. Like I said, I had a great background, and I never knew I could turn it into a career that I would love. And people just kept seeing things in me, and you just got to walk through that door.
thank you for your leadership, and thank you for giving back. You know, a lot of people come into a program and they take what they need and they don't look back. But you got involved on the board. You served as president. You remain a sponsor. And thank you for that, because you really think about the women that need that. And I can't be more appreciative for all the nearly 700 graduates in the Lugar Series.
It's amazing. And it's worthwhile.
And it's fun.
It is fun. I enjoy this. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and for sharing more about your leadership journey. I'm supposed to be reading the script, but I'm so excited. We just thought our conversation today was fun. You and I probably could have gone on and on talking about different things and different commonalities we have, but your commitment to the agriculture industry, to the Lugar Series, and your continued service to the Lugar Series are greatly appreciated. Please tune in every Tuesday as we highlight more Lugar Series women, impactful real stories heard exclusively on the Lugar Series, A Seat at the Table. So pull up a chair and join us.